Oh, we're both wearing blue as well.
Both in the
The boys in blue.
TARDIS blue. Woo-hoo. How good. Welcome back to another episode of the pod.
Hi, everybody. Good to be back. It's been like a week and a half.
It has. Cold winter day here in Australia. It's nothing but rain all day. So sorry if we get a little bit of rain in the background of the audio here.
I feel like Australia's either you're dying of heat or you're freezing.
Yeah.
There's never really an in-between.
Yeah, it's a weird bloody place. Even like a month ago, I feel like we were hot, like I was sweating, but now... And then you just get these 2 months in the middle of the year where it's like, no, it's Antarctica.
Also, winter's weird as well because in the morning it can be really cold, and then in like the afternoon it can get like hot again.
Yeah,
and you're like taking off all your like jumpers that you put on naked. In the morning and stuff.
My bum's out.
Naked, at work.
Welcome back to our Doctor Who podcast, folks. Today we are going to be talking about the Ambassadors of Death.
Woohoo!
The John Pertwee story.
Yee!
Yahoo! We're also going to go through some little bits of news, some stuff from Russ, some stuff from the toys.
Hey.
Or what do you call collectibles? Maybe is what people prefer them to be called.
No, you don't. Those sets are mine.
But yeah, this will be our second last show for a little while. We'll probably be back in.
Sad.
So we're going to have one more episode next week. When we're going to do Inferno, so that'll be like a nice big finale. God, the wind is like slamming doors outside.
Sort of, will we be late July? Will we?
I think August. We'll come back August. So we're taking July off. I'm going to travel. Connor's going to get some good rest, I hope.
I hope so. It's going to be a big break, actually.
Yeah, first big break that we've ever done in 5 years of the pod. So yeah, so that'll be nice. That'll be very nice. Yeah. Nice chance to reset. Maybe we'll come back and Doctor Who has been cancelled, which will be fun.
Christ,
so maybe we'll never come back.
You'll be in like some wine vineyard in like Italy and you're like, it what?
It what?
It's cancelled?
Guess I'm drinking more wine.
Crack open an old bottle.
Yeah. How many beers do you reckon I'll have whilst I'm away? So I'm in Europe for 3 weeks. Put a number on it.
Okay, an actual number that's not 3 million.
I mean, you can say 3 million if that's what you believe.
Are we talking pints here? Just drinks.
Let's say standard drinks.
Standard drinks?
With a pint being like 2 standard drinks, I guess.
Ooh, probably 200.
That's probably good. And then wine on top of that?
Yeah, wine on top of that. Ooh. Wine's a hard one because wine's the one alcoholic drink I haven't mastered.
I'm getting into it.
When I get wine drunk, I threw up last year. I haven't thrown up for drinking in so long, but I threw up last year drinking wine and champagne.
Woof.
So that can hit you differently. I'm not sure about wine. I mean, maybe let's talk bottles. Maybe you go for about 10 or 12 bottles in the trip.
Oh, if I go through 10 or 12 bottles, that's huge for me.
Well, there you go.
I'm not a big wine drinker. I was having some last night.
But in the city of love and
that's true,
and wine,
yeah,
I guess,
I mean, I guess that's what they call them.
Italy, no, that's Paris. Paris is a city of love.
Yeah,
Italy's a city of wine,
or pizza, or pasta,
or pizza or pasta.
Yeah.
Well,
a bit of red wine, bit of pasta.
Yeah,
that sounds good.
It suits your palate. If you can kind of keep track, that'll be fun. But
yeah, I'll report back with how many beers and how many wines I've had.
Well, also Europe Guinness is miles better.
Yeah, because it's closer, right? Isn't that how it works?
Exactly right. Yeah. So definitely give us an update on the old.
Yeah, Guinness. I reckon I'll have to have it in Paris because that'll be the closest to Ireland that I go on this trip.
Paris.
Yes.
City of death.
Anyways, I guess diving into a bit of 50% there. That's what we like. A little bit of off-topic chatter.
That's what we do, babe.
You can follow us on Twitter and Instagram at 50Doctor, on TikTok at 50Doctor Who, and you can subscribe.
50% podcast.
Had it good there for a second.
You know, I still have there's a TikTok on the pod account that's still like getting likes, and it's a really annoying one. And it's one from The Well.
So when you going, I can't.
I don't know. I don't know what it is. I don't know when I stand up and do that. Yeah. And it's got a lot. I think it's got over like 45k views, and it just is still getting likes. And it's like, I'm not embarrassed about it because I do think it's funny as well. But it's like, of all the TikToks
it's always the ones you don't
to do well,
really think are going to do big. I always say that with YouTube. It's always the stuff that you really like and want to do well.
Yeah,
doesn't normally do good.
Yeah,
and then the stuff that you don't want to don't think is as good always does better.
Yeah, clips of us actually reviewing the episode are always like sub 1k, but then anything like that does so much better.
So well, congratulations on your TikTok success. You might be getting noticed at the wine vineyards.
Maybe they were like, "Is that the guy who doesn't know what it is?"
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So yeah, as we said, Ambassadors of Death coming up soon. But before then, Connor, let's talk about some news.
Woohoo!
And I was having such a nice day.
Thanks, Chris. So, Doctor Who magazine came out. We had a Photoshop photo of Billie Piper as the Doctor, on the front cover. This is sort of all old news for you guys now, but we thought we'd just sort of say our 2 cents on it. Firstly, Connor, thoughts on the cover before we go into its contents?
I just laughed when I saw it. I was like, how stupid. Yeah, it's funny because everyone keeps saying it's like there hasn't even been like a photo shoot yet.
Yeah.
So
I think it's a good Photoshop for like what they have to work with.
Sure.
But
there's talented people out there.
It'd be so much more interesting if they'd actually done a photo shoot. Like surely they just send a photographer to Billie's house and just give her, even if they don't give her like Shooty's fit, just put her in like a doctorish fit and put her on a grey background or something like that.
I know. That it did kind of make me laugh. I mean, you know, and the question mark as well.
Yeah.
On the cover.
And I think that question mark is also Russell asking, is she the Doctor?
Well, that's
Nobody
what
knows.
does irk me a bit as well. Is it like clearly there is no like set plan or there's just ideas getting thrown around, and yeah, that's upsetting. I kind of hate the idea that like let's see what's most popular with the fans and we'll do that. You know, it's like everyone that I've seen just thinks this idea is like ludicrous. With all the love to Billie in the world,
Yeah.
I think
she's
it's
so talented.
ludicrous. Ludicrous, Aiden.
It's frustrating because obviously like a week after that finale, there was that 20 years of Doctor Who documentary, of New Who documentary. And it's not available on YouTube yet. All right, so if you're outside of the UK, I don't think you can watch it yet. But the clips I was seeing online of Billie and David, I was like, they're amazing. Like they're so fun to listen to them talk and things like that. But then you're just like slightly frustrated because you're like, I really want to love that Billie's back in the show because she is really talented. She is a really cool person. But I'm just frustrated at the creative decision.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Russell's really great at casting.
He is.
That's
So
one of
great
his- that's
that he
one of
keeps
his.
reusing the same cast.
It was so good in the past. I'm going to redo it.
Yeah.
That is one of his like ultimate strengths. I think is
He's
like
very good.
casting.
Well,
Really
he also up until now, I think Andy Pryor has stepped away from Who, I believe, over the last month. But Andy Pryor has been casting with Russell for years and has been the main casting agent on Who, I think, for the entire revival. I think.
Yes, that's correct.
So it's a bit surprising that they're
And then
not
he
doing
sort of
anymore.
backstepped and said, "I might come back. Just for now, I'm."
Oh, and
It was weird.
I
No.
guess it's the same situation as Doctor Who is in.
Yeah, it was weird because he did say that, but he was like, "I might not be done with it. I might just be taking a little bit of a break." So that was interesting.
Interesting.
Yeah, you know, I don't know. I mean, you know, my mum keeps asking me about my thoughts on Doctor Who, and I'm like, I just can't talk about it right now. Like she, you know, it's funny because like I told her about Billie, and then she thought it was ridiculous, and then she keeps asking me about it, and I'm like, I really don't want to talk about it. Really, like, I'm glad it's embarrassing.
I'm glad you sat down to talk about it with me.
This is fine. This is fine.
This is therapy.
This is therapy. But no, but at least I know I'm in it when I do these videos. They're like for people who love the show, but it's like. It's kind of embarrassing when, like, you know, it's someone like my family I've been trying to convince that Doctor Who is a really good show and it can be great and this is going to be revolutionary and this is going to be a new era and it's on Disney and it's going to be great. And then when it doesn't happen, you're just kind of sat there like,
yikes.
Oh, you know, it's like, you know, I just got pied, you know, in front of a live crowd.
Well, let's talk about what Russell said. So in the article, he did his little monthly roundup, which is a great little piece that they always do in the magazine where you actually hear from Russell himself,
roundup,
which is very cool. And he has sort of signed off with this one and says he's going to take a break from doing the article for now, which I assume is sort of until they get season 3 renewed. Before I talk about a couple of the other things, for me, overall tone of the article feels a little bit less enthusiastic than him in the past. I know a lot of people have sort of caught on to that. And the fact that he signs on and he's like, I'm going to take a break from this for a while, really makes me think that now there's a whole thing where they are not going to give us an answer about season 3 until after the war between the land and the sea.
Interesting.
That's where I think it's at because, and I think fair enough from Disney, like they've got basically a new TV show coming out. Why would they want to announce that it's not going anywhere after that. Do you get what I mean there?
Yeah, Netflix made that mistake with losing the Marvel shows, and there was still Punisher season 2 and Jessica Jones season 3 to come out.
Right, yeah.
And everyone watching them, well, it was like, what's the point, basically?
Yeah,
so
and that's what it would be
that.
like that. I get that. And that's why this deal, whilst it sounds amazing as an initial pitch, like, yeah, we've got to do 2 specials, 2 seasons, 2 Christmas specials, 3 anniversary specials, and a spin-off. Like, that sounds like an amazing deal. But I suppose it sounds like an amazing deal if it goes to plan. But the fact that we haven't been able to get that commission yet for season 3 has now really stuffed us around a bit, because I wouldn't be surprised War Between comes out late this year or early next year.
Didn't they confirm in the magazine that it's coming out this year? They said it'll be coming out later this year.
I think he just said it's coming soon in the magazine.
Right,
I think
okay.
he did. Maybe there was, I don't know.
October release? Connor was right the whole time.
That's what Connor keeps saying. No, I could see it. I could see it. Yeah, so I've got a feeling. We're going to be waiting for a long, long time on this answer. I think it'll come back because the BBC said it will, but could be waiting a bit longer.
It'll come back.
Yeah.
It'll definitely come back.
Yeah.
That I'm not worried about that.
Just like when and what does it look like?
What does it look like?
Yeah. Is Russell still there?
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's like a going in circles conversation, isn't it? Really,
It is.
like, and it gets kind of exhausting because, like,
It does.
That's the thing. I think you're right. I don't think we are going to find out for a while. We'll probably find out if War Between Land and the Sea, memes aside, comes out in October, and it's 5 episodes. That means probably like mid-November. Maybe we'll get some information.
Yeah, I could see that. But it does definitely make me think that we're not, like, Russell signing off from this makes me think we're not getting that announcement, and that means that we're not getting the Disney renewal. Like that. Do you know what I mean? Like, Disney would have renewed it after, I don't know. Yeah, it's a mess.
Surely we knew that, though.
Yeah, I think it doesn't come as a surprise.
It's like War Between Land and Sea is such a hit that it saves the day.
Could you imagine?
I mean, never say never.
I think they got to market that as like, this is not Doctor Who. This is that came out. This is not that. Don't worry about it. Those characters, that's not Kate. That's Mate.
Mate Stewart.
Mate Methbridge Brew.
But it's like, yeah, if it is such an insane, like, Andor hit, then maybe the kind of show that gets people to watch it who haven't watched the show in years, then generally it will just have to be a word of mouth thing, which you know we'll have to see. No pun intended. Or Between the Land and the Sea. Just explaining the joke. Nothing makes a joke funnier than explaining it, I always say. Yeah, but anyway, yeah. I guess we'll have to wait till. They did it in like a TV guide. They did a bit on War Between Land and the Sea.
That's cool.
The main sea devil is called Salt.
Wait, this is okay. This is once again Russell being like, one day I want to have a companion called Petrol.
Petrol and Salt. Yes.
At least salt, it's like a water, but that's also like
Salt.
I don't know. That's like calling a human companion Air.
Yeah, Salt and Air. Yeah. So that's, and I think considering they're putting it into a TV guide, it has to be coming out this year. Surely.
Possibly.
Because why the fuck would you put it in there if it's not?
Don't know, mate. Here's what Russell, just a couple of tiny little things that Russell said in the mag. He said he's going on a list of things that are still to be explained, talking about obviously Billy's "oh hello," and then he goes on to say, and there's also Susan, of course. I wonder if we'll ever find out who the boss is or who the boss are. I'm still wondering who Gus from the Mummy on the Orient Express is. Maybe they're the same, but we don't know what's happening yet. And while everyone works that out, I'll take a pause on this page. So the last half there feels like it's very well and truly out of Russell's control now.
You fucking know the answer when it's important.
That's the most accurate time you've ever pressed that button.
I think the problem with that sentence right there is I think this is the big issue. The fact that there's even a reference to Gus from the Mummy on Orient Express just shows you're too much of a fan. Okay? No.
I don't mind that.
No. You can't.
I almost think that he's not sure if he's going to be making the next season.
No, that as well.
And because I think surely, Facebook. I think surely if he didn't.
My goodness, someone's
closing off
busy
Facebook
today.
I think he would know who those are. And even though they might change with time, as he goes on in earlier in the article, he talks about things that have changed, especially around like Susan Triad's character, stuff like that. I think it's fair enough for that to change. I think he'd have an idea who the boss is, but I think he's also like, maybe I won't actually get to do season 3. Like maybe if the BBC goes on to do it, it won't be with Russell. And I feel like that's him sort of being like, oh, but you know, we never found out who Gus was, so it doesn't really matter if we don't find out who the boss is, does it?
Call me Gus.
And I don't mind that. That's definitely not a plot thread that I need tidying up come the next season. Like it's annoying, but if it meant we could get a proper fresh start with the next season and the next Doctor, then I would happily take an unexplained who the boss is.
Yeah, but Series 8 didn't end with Gus says hi, by the way.
Parking that.
Yeah,
that was not a Peter Capaldi expression. What was that? Parking that.
That's nice.
That's like Irish, isn't it? Listen, parking that.
Guinness is on your mind, clearly.
Get me close to Guinness. Yeah, so it's just another big question mark over what this franchise is looking like now, isn't it?
Yeah, what a mess, honestly. What? So that's just
Yep, that's that. Want to have a little bit of news. Something, I guess, a bit more exciting and cool is character options.
And I was having such a nice day.
Thank you.
No worries.
Character options are the guys that make the little action figures for Doctor Who. I've got a couple of them myself. And yeah,
yes,
not wrong.
Yes.
No coming back from that one.
Dollies.
And yeah, my dollies, my
dollies.
toys. And they've announced the new 14th Doctor Wild Blue Yonder variant that comes with Beep the Meep. And I think it's really cool because for a long time they have been recycling these figures because they cost money to make new molds. So they're like trying to repurpose things. Like if there's a jacket from an old toy, they might be like, oh, that kind of looks like the 14th Doctor's jacket. We can put that on the 14th Doctor, change the paint job. Whereas this, they've actually done a whole new mold for the Meep, and I think for David's head as well. So that's really cool. It looks like a great set. I'd love that set. If anyone's out there was like, oh, I'll send him a set, I'll take it.
What? Why is Beep the Meep in the Wild Blue Yonder set?
Well, I think it's because they already released a 14th Doctor figure, and so now I think they wanted to release like another variant because David always sells well, and that they just needed like another villain from the finale for it to go with, and Beep the Meep was such a high in demand one.
So is the Wild Blue Yonder set just David in the vest?
It's David with Meep, so that's it's like
with just the vest on.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Right.
Whereas the one before had like the jacket. And things.
Okay, cool.
But really cool. It's like I've got Shooty on the shelf. He's the only figure I have on my shelf. And I'm like, oh, could David go well with him?
Aren't those sets like super expensive?
Yeah, which is why I'm like, oh, I'm going to Europe, just bought a house, don't have money. So
how much are they?
I think in AUD it was close to like 100.
Yeah, it's pretty expensive.
Yeah. So I'll steer away from that for now.
Okay.
But if anyone's got a free one,
okay,
just kiss the mic.
And you can hear it as well.
Yeah.
So is that the first time they've done a Meep with that collection?
Yeah, it's the first time they've done a Meep figure in general. So, and it's the first like new villain I think they've done in a while because they always do new Daleks for new paint jobs and sort of redoing the Doctors with like a maybe new face mold or new jacket or new TARDIS model. And so this is like one of the first really, really new and different models they've done in a while for the figures. So it sort of shows that I think these things are selling well. I think in the first 24 hours, 80% of the stock sold.
Cool.
So they're doing well, which is really cool.
As long as the IP is selling, like, you know.
That's why the show's always going to come back, right?
That's why it's always going to be back. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so that's a bit of fun. You're not going to pick this up?
Am I?
Yeah.
No. What, are you crazy?
My funny Facebook is going off. Okay, anyways. So.
Someone's popular over here.
No, I think Nicole needs me to go pick up a tray. My lovely partner.
Well, that's all right then.
That is all right then. All right, shall we move on?
Go pick up the tray, Hayden.
To a bit of... I was trying to make a pun, but I don't even know how you can make a pun out of the Ambassadors of Death.
Death. Deaf to all of them.
Yeah, let's just move on to the Ambassadors of Death. Let's go straight into it, shall we?
Let's do it.
Connor, hit the classic Who sting.
My bad.
Go. It's time for classic Doctor Who.
Good night, girls and boys.
Cool.
So the Ambassadors of Death is the third serial of the 7th season of the British science fiction television series Doctor Who, which was first broadcast in 7 weekly parts on the BBC One from the 21st of March to the 2nd of May 1970. The serial's script was created by David Whittaker and completed primarily by Malcolm Hulke and Trevor Ray, directed by Michael Ferguson.
Freddie Whittaker's dad?
Fergie's dad. The series is set in London, Hertfordshire, and
Hertfordshire. That's where I'm from.
There you go. Genetics.
Yep.
They're all your dads.
Hertfordshire.
There you go. The serial is set in Connor's hometown and in the Earth's orbit. In the serial, the alien time traveler, the Third Doctor, played by John Pertwee, and the International Organization unit investigate the disappearance of astronauts who have lost contact with Earth. They become involved in a conspiracy and meet alien ambassadors who have arrived on Earth.
Cool.
Wow. You know the companion doesn't have a lot to do when they're not even mentioned in the synopsis.
Yeah, Liz Shaw is definitely unfortunately a bit of a forgetful companion.
Yeah, and it's not at all to do with Caroline John.
Yeah, she seems really good.
She does.
Just don't know what to do with her.
She seems like a really cool companion. Like she's got a bit more like a bossiness about her, maybe
she's a girl boss.
Yeah, she's kind of like a Belinda vibe.
Yeah,
same thing where it's like, they've got a really good actor playing a really interesting character, but we're not going to put them in the center of the stories at all.
Yeah, it's weird because with someone like Sarah Jane and with Pertwee and someone like Joe Grant with Pertwee, they're both such great characters that people still love to this day. But I do think, unfortunately, a lot of the time, and we even saw this last week with the Mark of the Rani, the companion normally is the Doctor Who girl.
Yeah, the girly.
The Doctor Who girl who just travels with the Doctor. And unfortunately, I think she kind of falls into that category writing-wise.
Definitely. But the episode as a whole, neither of us has seen this one before. So it's quite interesting to go into it. And I put a tweet out the other day to say, what do people think of this story? Because this is a story that I had never heard of. When this season 7 collection set came out, I'd heard of Spearhead from Space. Heaps. I'd heard of Silurians, obviously, and I'd heard of Inferno. But then there's this little serial in the middle that I was like, what? The Ambassadors of Death? What? Had you heard of that before? No. That's such a non-existent episode.
Yeah, it kind of flew under the radar, I think.
Definitely. So cool to watch it and really have no idea. The only thing I knew was there was an astronaut guy. That's the only thing I'd seen, and that was just from seeing the trailer in the set or something like that.
Cool.
So I went in completely blind.
7 parts as well.
7
we
parts.
haven't said that.
Long time. A lot of episodes.
Was Silurian 7 parts or was that 6?
I think that was 7, yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's so dumb because it's Spearhead's 4 and then all 3 of the other ones are 7.
Yeah.
It's surely we can do them all as 5 or 6 or something.
I don't know if they commissioned... I have this with Who all the time. Did they commission so many episodes and they had to...
Yeah, it's just
that,
budget is usually what makes them make the because they obviously don't have to spend as much money on sets because they can reuse sets for more episodes.
Exactly, yeah.
And same with Monster Designs.
Yeah, that makes more sense.
Yeah. But I'm happy to say, for the most part, I really liked this serial. It's not knocking my socks off at all. It felt different, which I really liked. It felt... I really liked the slow burn sci-fi energy of the first couple episodes. And the middle few episodes, I was like, oh my God, this is too slow burn. It's not... The first 2 felt like it was a slow burn thriller mystery thing, and I was here for it. It was an intentional slow thing. And then parts 3 to 5, a bit of 6, I was like, this just feels like nothing is happening. We have an episode of the Doctor going up to space, an episode of the Doctor coming down from space. There's just... one thing would happen an episode, basically. But then comes the end of episode 6 and then episode 7. Episode 7 I really loved. I liked the story, liked the casting, I liked the ideas. It was just killed by a 7-part structure for me. What about you? Very interested to know what you think.
I thought this serial was awesome.
You liked it? Oh, fuck yeah.
I loved it.
Awesome.
I really thought it was great.
I'm glad.
After last week with Mark of the Rani, which I just found a complete snooze fest and just kind of hated my life watching, I found this instantly engaging and I really liked it.
Awesome.
I think it was a different vibe, like you were saying. And I remember in the past, I don't know if it was on air or off air, I think it was on air, that we were speaking about, like I would ask you questions about like how are they going to do every episode set on Earth, and you said to me sometimes they do go off-world, and I was questioning kind of how they were going to do that without the TARDIS, and I think this was a perfect way of doing it. I just realized through myself, like, why? I asked myself after the first episode, like, why am I enjoying it so much? And I think the idea of like venturing off into space in rockets is just like, it is just unknown territory and it's so spooky. Kind of similar to, they released that Netflix doc. I keep thinking about you, that submarine that you got so obsessed with, was it last year? The one that went to go down the Titanic?
Yeah.
Like, it's just like unknown territory.
Yeah. Have you seen, there's a sidebar here.
Yeah.
Have you seen the horrible like AI recreations of it?
No.
And it's like,
is it from the doc?
No. This is like, because I don't know if you see these stupid things, and for some reason they always come up on my Facebook. There's like AI vlogging.
I
it's
see
like
them,
if
yeah.
they'll vlog,
Yeah,
if you
like
could
Jesus
vlog when Jesus was around, or when they were building the pyramids, and it's like
the Roman
Egyptians
Empire.
going like, "Hey guys, so today we're here. We're going to be building the
It's so
pyramids."
cringe.
It's so cringe. It looks terrible. And for some reason, they keep coming up, and I like swipe away as fast as possible, so it tells the algorithm that I don't like it. It's so annoying. Anyways, there's like an AI thing of Ocean Gate,
Right.
and it's just shit. Like, obviously, it's just kind of shit to do that, anyways, I guess.
Right.
But also, like,
A quick comment on that
Just
though. I
shit.
think the reason why that stuff does so well, like my mum the other day was going through Facebook, she's like, Connor, is this real? And it was like an alligator like jumping out of the ocean, like grabbing a goat or something. And I was like, no, obviously not. And she was like, oh, I thought it was. I think that's why it's doing so well on Facebook.
like, oh, whoa, did they just find some footage from the
like,
Egyptians?
Wow, yeah, oh wow.
Wow, that's
the
great.
CCTV must have picked it up. Sorry, anyway.
Why do they all sound American?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. My point is unknown territories. And I
Doctor Who
think
season 3.
and that exactly. That's what excited me, I think. And I just thought the idea was really cool. Like, I think the idea of like sending up these astronauts and it goes bad. And I was kind of getting some Christmas Invasion vibes because the media is really following that whole thing in Christmas Invasion.
Yes.
And the media is following this.
Once again, Russell stealing from the pond.
You can't unsee it now.
Yeah.
With a threat that's almost not a threat.
Yeah. It's like
Which I
humanity
always-
is the threat, kind of, in a way.
Yes, and I always really liked that. It, in a sense, was like a bit of a political thriller, which is what I want War Between Land and the Sea to be.
Yeah.
And I think when it comes to New Who and Classic Who, what I always look for is episodes that like stand out and are a little bit different. And I think this episode did a very good job at that. And it has the same problem as every time of it being too long. That is just I think I very rarely say I think it justified all those parts.
Yeah.
We have these problems even with like 3-parters and 4-parters, like let alone 7. But I think the storyline itself was mostly engaging enough to keep me going. And although the ending it kind of just did wrap up with the Doctor being like, I have to go back to my lab now to do my work. Goodbye, everyone.
And then it's like,
"Whee!"
after 7 parts,
Okay, yeah.
you're ending it that
Yeah,
quick.
yeah. He's like, all right, see you guys. I got to go back to the lab and do work. See ya.
Like, job was done, I guess, but
Yeah, I guess.
very
Yeah.
quick. Did you like the cliffhangers were so fast?
Insane.
But like, I kind of started to like it. Like,
Insane. Just a gun being pointed.
and like 5 of the cliffhangers were
Yeah.
just a gun being pointed.
Yeah.
And I also liked the slight breakup of the style of the intro, where
Yes, I was going to ask you about this.
does
Do you have
half
an
the
answer to
theme.
that?
No, I don't know why they did it.
Okay.
Does half the theme. It shows like a little 15-second scene, and then it has the title come up on screen.
Yeah.
It was really cool.
I thought it was like, are we watching like a special presentation right now? Was this supposed to be seen as like a really special episode of Doctor Who where they were going to do something like this?
Yeah, that's what it felt like.
It felt like it, and it worked for me.
Yeah,
Genuinely. Like, I had a good time with it.
I'm glad.
The whole idea of like you had the astronauts like who are back down on Earth. Do you know what it remind me of? This is kind of niche. You know when you're playing Moon on zombies and you have that when you're on the moon, you have those like
Yes.
zombies in the astronaut suits. They're just walking around the map. They reminded me of that.
Yeah, I see it.
Yeah, that's what they reminded me of. So
One thing before we move away from the story that I didn't want to critique it because I still think it was done really well, but I did feel like it was a story maybe similar in what it's trying to say about like sort of humanity shooting themselves in the foot with these things was very much like the Silurians and the Sea Devil storyline that we've seen a million times before, and we saw last week in this season. So I did think it was a little bit familiar in that way, still done really well, and yeah, in a slightly different version in this, so that was interesting. But yeah, it wasn't anything groundbreakingly new, I didn't think, with this one. What's cool at the first episode, they referenced the Silurian.
I was going to say that.
Brigadier is
really cool.
obviously off killing more Silurians or something.
Yes. So I think I said, God, it was so long ago now when we did the Silurian episode. That would have been before Series 2, Season 2. I think I said I would really appreciate if they did reference it, because it's such a bleak ending at the end of Doctor and the Silurians, and like with the Doctor being so tight-knit with UNIT, I think it would be weird if they just went to, it's like, and now on this week's episode, it's like, you know, they just completely forget.
Well, was this like a redeeming thing for the Brig that he didn't go and be like, okay, now we're going to go blow up this alien spaceship in the sky? Like, character work.
Maybe. I guess.
Maybe.
Maybe.
Because he like storms the thing at the end. Like he gets it all, saves the day, kind of.
I guess technically, like with it being in space and it having humans on board, I think the idea is that like it's unknown territory, as I keep saying. With the Silurians, I think they were like on Earth and were seen as a threat to humanity.
Sure.
When
so
this could have been seen.
You're pro-Brig?
No.
Pro-murder?
Yeah, but we all know how people feel about UNIT these days. If you say you're a fan of UNIT, you're like a...
yeah,
you're an
extreme right.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I'm a commie, you know. No, that could have been an interest. Yeah, sure, maybe.
I thought as well. Yes, these alien spaceship guys in the suits were really sort of intimidating. Seeing them just walk around, it was giving Impossible Astronaut when it's like faceless at the start and just the astronaut walking through. It's quite scary. I did think when they showed the face, I can imagine in the 70s it would be quite spooky because like cosmetics and you're watching it on like a shittier TV and things like that. But when you're watching it in HD in 2025, it sort of took away the horror factor a little bit of these guys. So I think it would have been cooler if we never saw what was on their face. And maybe the characters do, but we don't. Would have been like a more suspenseful way of
They're
doing
like,
it.
let's write it for people watching in 2025.
Yeah, that's it. Hey, this show might live for another 50 years.
Yeah, we'll write it for someone who's going to be watching it on a remastered Blu-ray. Okay. I do like how they needed more radiation they thought radiation was killing them, and it's like they needed more radiation to keep going.
Yeah.
Also, like, I loved how the shuttle returned back, and it was just the tape recorder.
Oh yeah.
The doctor says, "What's the capital of Australia?" Shout out to Australia.
Yeah,
which is Canberra, is the capital of Australia. In case any of you were wondering at home,
Australian Capital Territory.
If anyone knows what, or if I know what I'm talking about, the doctor says, "What's the capital of Australia?"
There you go.
So, I like the tape recorder. And it was spooky. It was given.
Empty child doctor the answers.
Not what I was going to say, but
my mummy.
It was given, I think, like Space Odyssey. I'm afraid I can't do that.
Yeah, I see it.
I'm sorry, Dave.
What did you think of Johnny P?
I'm afraid I can't do that. Johnny P. Yeah, he was alright.
He's great. I love Johnny P.
Johnny P.
He loves to strip as well, doesn't he? He loves to just take his clothes off and get a dressing gown on.
No, I do. I
bet there was a deleted scene of that man taking off that dressing gown.
You need
make sure you film this, guys.
Yeah, make sure you film this. My God, no, I kid. He is fantastic. Considering it's his first season as well, he just like, you know, he really does just fall into the role perfectly. I rewatched Extremists last night for no particular reason.
Okay.
I've always just liked that episode, and I really, and as Peter has said, he took a lot from the John Pertwee performance, and that was his Doctor, you know. And I think you can really see that in a good way in Peter's performance. But yeah, as a Doctor, I think it was such a great move for going forward after Patrick Troughton and after Hartnell. I think it really fit the time. And so this would have been the 70s.
Oh, geez, sorry, yawning.
It would have really fit the 70s and the color TV. Yeah, geez, Louise, Aiden. Are you okay? It's sleepy classic Who time.
Sleepy boy.
No, I think I think he really fits the show really well. And also it really is like the unit adventures. I think it's a big swing that pulls off because they pull it off because I think the idea of like being like when I talk to some people who don't watch classic Who and I'm like, yeah, like Pertwee's pretty much just set on Earth. Like as a concept, that sounds like it could get very boring very quick. But I think the idea of it being with isn't Sergeant Benson in it as well for a brief moment?
Yeah. Was this his first one or was he?
I don't know.
I can't remember if he was in Silurians or not.
Because he's not in it for very long.
No, it was very brief.
He's just on the phone call. Yeah. So that's Aiden right now. Yeah, he's just on the phone call very briefly.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, he was cool. It was cool. Cool to see him there. Yeah, I don't think we have. I think this might have been Benson's first appearance.
One of Aiden's favorites.
Yeah, we love Benson. Love Benny. Benny. The Brig sort of talked about his character saving the day this time. That stuff was quite cool. I think Nicholas Courtney is so reliable. He's always just great, isn't he? Like I just want to have a pint with him. You know, him and John.
Well, you said they did go down the pub.
Yeah, and I want to be there with them.
Yeah, you can't anymore.
Yeah, dead now, of course.
But
yeah, I wish because they just that the presence that both of them have on screen is so great, and I feel annoyingly that Liz Shaw kind of has that presence as well if she was given the time and the moments because she is this like strong figure. She fits really nicely in with those two, so it'd be cool to see a lot more of her. But
so next week's her last story?
Apparently so. Right.
Yeah, that does seem like a misfire.
Yeah.
They don't really seem to know what to do with her. Mm-hmm. And it's Sarah Jane next.
The next companion.
Yeah.
No, it's Joe.
Joe and then
Sarah.
Jane.
Yeah.
Right.
Because Joe does like 3 seasons. Yeah.
That's what I mean though. It's like that there's just such strong companions who come up next.
Yeah. So like
and they really didn't really know what to.
Yeah.
And so before this it was the Doctor and Jamie.
Jamie and Zoe,
yeah, and they were a big hit.
Yeah, people fucking love Jamie in particular.
Yeah,
he seems cool. Another man I'd love to get a pint with.
Yeah, he did Tales of TARDIS, didn't he?
Yeah, he did.
Yeah,
him and Zoe.
Yeah,
I think both came back.
That's what I mean, though. It's like what it's kind of interesting because she's a scientist. It fits, and the Doctor's. It's funny because like this Doctor is. I think as well. I think like we don't talk about it a lot. It's like he is a scientist. It's kind of like it's kind of how like you know how like in Matt Reeves is the Batman like they made him a scientist like because Batman is a scientist, but in
detective, you mean
detective, yeah. But it's like and then in the Nolan trilogy, it's barely touched on. Like it's kind of like that here. It's like it's like he is a scientist and they are going for it.
Like him piloting a ship to space.
And
I feel like in New Who sometimes that could just be like. Expected that the Doctor could fly that ship or find a way to do it, but this like it really feels like part of his character that he's doing this stuff. He's being tasked to create this invention by unit that the like the translating device or whatever in episode 7. It all just feels part of his character. He's such an action star as well, isn't he? This whole era just feels so like James Bond, action
James
blockbuster,
Bond,
the car chases, shooting, Octopussy vibes, that stuff was all really fun.
Yeah, this might surprise and shock you, Aiden, and the folks at home. But I would say this is definitely my favorite of the season
so far.
I prefer it over the Silurians and the
Spearhead
from Space, which is two really strong episodes with 2 really strong villains in it. But I guess when it comes to that's why they have menus at restaurants, Some people like steak, some people like pasta, some people like spaghetti. Oh,
I love that. That's a great little analogy.
He's that's a quote from The Apprentice with Donald Trump.
Right. I thought you were here being so wise.
Some people like spaghetti. That's why they have menus at restaurants. Yeah, well, that's how I like my Who. I guess like I like a bit of a political thriller, and when it tries to go different, It's very Hergé's Adventures of Tintin, as I always say on the podcast for the classic Who. It's very Hergé's, you know.
Oh, Hergé.
Hergé's Adventures of Tintin.
I like the score of this as well. There was like a little
Beautiful.
funky, little like...
I love the score. It's so funny how going from last week with Marco the Rani to this, like, just the because when I watched Marco the Rani last week, I was like, oh no, I don't know if I can do this classic Who shit, and particularly with the current show being in such like a weird spot where we don't know when we're going to get anything new.
Yeah.
I was a little bit concerned because I was like, my love for the show is like kind of dwindling, and then like also it's like coming on the podcast and being like unenthusiastic because I'm just not excited to talk about the thing that we're talking about. With this week, this episode saved me.
Yeah. Well, there we go.
And it made me feel like, it's like, yes, this is why it proved to me that like I can watch classic Doctor Who and actually enjoy myself and not feel like, yes, it is 7 parts. Yes, they are too long. But come on, Aiden.
I'm coming.
Give me some give me some credit here. I'm glad to hear it.
Yeah. Well, hopefully next week with Inferno, we'll have another hit on our hands because everyone loves that one.
Well, we can go out with a bang. It's our last ep for a month, so let's
last ep in the studio here.
Oh yeah, shit. Yeah, no, it is. Yeah, that's sad.
That is sad.
So we're going out with a bang. Yeah, and from what you've said, it's really good. So not that you've seen it, but you've heard about it. So
heard good things. Connor, what do you want to give the Ambassadors of Death out of 10?
May you remind me my scores for the last two?
7.5 for both.
8.
An 8?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
Definitely enjoyed it a fly stick more than Spearhead.
I'm going to give it a 7. I think just the middle part's just grated a little bit too slow for me. I think it's probably my least favorite out of the 3 so far, but I still really enjoyed it.
Cool.
Like, I think if this is as bad as the season gets,
yes,
then it's excellent.
That's the thing. It's like if Inferno is the hit that you say it is, like this season slaps.
All-time season.
Is that what people say?
Well, that's what I'm saying now.
And for Pertwee's first season, this is like Matt Smith's season 5, series 5.
You're goddamn right.
Thank you.
Yeah, people, bit of mixed responses online. People say it's an uneven plot, that the narrative feels extemporized and bumpy, whatever the fuck that means. Sometimes a thrilling ride, but with no clear end in sight. Yeah, I kind of hear about that.
I guess
I get that. Yeah, described it as a hit and a miss, promising, tedious and confusing. And here's the last one: a great low-budget creature that actually looks more menacing than silly.
Not according to Aiden.
Yeah.
Aiden's like, no.
No, but I feel like maybe they're talking about the actual the spacesuit design.
On my HD Blu-ray.
I'll have to get the VHS. Guys, thank you so much for watching and listening. As always, get excited for the big finale next week.
We'll see you then.
The finale of season 7 and the finale of the
50%,
podcast.
Yeah.
Dun dun dun.
Maybe we're gonna go on indefinite break. Like
we'll be back. We've got to finish reviewing season 18.
True.
The one that we started one serial.
The Tom
from.
Baker one.
Yeah.
Okay.
So until next week, guys. Have a lovely week.
Till then,
be kind to each other.
Be kind.
It's Aiden's and Connor's podcast. We're doing classic Who reviews
on a Sunday.
Doing classic Who reviews.
Saturday shit.
I was going to say
it's a Saturday.
Saturday today, mate.
It's Saturday.
Saturday.
You know, when I saw Elton John, I couldn't get Saturday night tickets, so I got Sunday.
Did you start singing Sunday?
Yeah, it's just annoying. It's so close to hearing Saturday Night's Alright on a Saturday night.
I saw that Better Man is on the plane that I'm taking to Dubai. And as much as part of me wants to see it
of all places to watch it on a tiny ass screen.
There is the old altitude thing. You know how you're more emotional when you're on a plane and you cry more watching stuff?
I honestly love that movie so fucking much.
I'm very keen. I have been wanting to watch it, but it's just not available to stream anywhere.
Yeah, I thought they would have gone on Paramount.
No, it's on Blu-ray, so I could just buy that, but...
You'll go on then. Let me know what you think on the altitude.
I will. I'll be tearing up.
I think it's a very beautiful film. If you haven't seen it, watch it.
Monkey sad.
Monkey. I think you'll love them. I think generally you'll 5 minutes in, you'll be like, this is the best choice they could have made.
I was convinced when I saw the first trailer, I was like, that's excellent. Like, I was so not keen for it because I was like, we've had so many biopics. I don't really give a shit. Like, it doesn't matter who. Like, even if they made one of my favorite musicians of all time.
Freddie Mercury. They should do one about him.
I just wouldn't be interested now because they're all these very corporate movies. But the moment he was a monkey, I was like, perfect. That's all you need to do. I hope the next one's a turtle. I hope they make Freddie Mercury a turtle.
What about the
Bohemian
Pharrell
Rhapsody
Williams Lego one? You gonna watch that?
It's a Lego one.
No, see about that.
No, that's kind of fun.
It looks kind of cool.
Yeah, okay. Interesting. All right, bye guys.
Bye.